Okay, before posting our third and last video about multiplying intervals with chromaticism, let's share a fun fact that could possibly make the last video even more digestible. You know, I've been having digestion problems, so. You see those intervals? We have a minor second, a minor third, a third, and an augmented fourth, which on the piano is the same as a diminished fifth. So what? Do I get a Nobel Prize for listing them? Okay, maybe not, though I was hoping for one. What's so special about them then? This one's going to shock you. Perhaps you should sit down before hearing this, but each of those intervals is a divisor of an octave. Now let's explain what we mean by that. First, let's examine the divisors of 12. You know, I'm talking about the normal number. We're not talking about anything special here. 12 can be written 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. So those are the divisors of 12. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 itself. Cool, right? So what? Because 12 minor seconds add up to an octave, the divisors of an octave are similar to the divisors of 12. You can multiply the intervals minor second, a minor third, a third, and an augmented fourth by certain whole numbers to get an octave exactly as shown here. Those are the intervals that are exactly, you could multiply, one of their multiples is an octave. Remember, all of this is true on the piano and not forcibly on other instruments. To each divisor of 12, not a 12th, just 12, our normal old friend 12, the number. So as I was saying, to each divisor of 12 corresponds a divisor of an octave we just showed. A minor second is like 1. 1 times 12 equals 12. A minor second times 12 is an octave. That means a minor second is 1/12 of an octave. A major second is like 2. 2 times 6 equals 12, and a second times 6 is an octave. So a second is a sixth of an octave, just like 2 is a sixth of 12. A minor third is like 3. 3 times 4 equals 12. A minor third times 4 is an octave. A minor third is thus a fourth of an octave. That is part of the explanation for why there are only 3 diminished seventh chords. Each note is linked to 3 others that can't escape those 3 other notes, like they're linked to each other. And each of those other 3 notes are also linked to the other 3 in that same set. And the sets of 4 notes are isolated from each other, something like what we would call a conjugacy class in math. But you don't have to worry about that. There are only 3 sets of 4 isolated notes in an octave. There are only 3 possible diminished seventh chords in an octave. And you know they can't escape each other. By adding more minor thirds, you're not going to get any other note than those 4 notes. A major third is like 4. 4 times 3 equals 12. Third times 3 is an octave. So a major third is a third of an octave. Similarly to the minor third, there are only 4 possible augmented triads. Augmented, each one being part of this set of 3 notes, isolated from each other, so 4 sets of isolated groups of 3 notes. If you add another augmented interval to, for instance, if you have C4, E4, and G sharp 4. That's an augmented triad. If you add another augmented triad, you're going to get back to the octave. You won't be able to escape those notes. You'll just be adding those notes. You'll never get to escape those notes. So it's the same situation, even though there's only 3 notes. And in the diminished interval case, there are 4 notes. But it's the same situation. An augmented fourth is like 6. 6 times 2 is 12. An augmented fourth times 2 is an octave. So an augmented fourth, which in the diminished fifth, is exactly half an octave on the piano. An octave is like 12. Obviously that's the last one. Octave's like 12. 12 times 1 is 12. Eighth times 1, the octave times 1 is an octave. Just like, Okay, and that was it. Thanks for watching. Next time we'll post the third and last video on how to multiply intervals when we care about chromaticism. One day I'll post a video about an octave clock that is related to the stuff we just discussed. And see you next time. Please like and subscribe as usual. And thanks for watching.